So in the last video, we discussed how to call the API to get the responses from the LLM and make a tool call. In this video, we are going to understand how to make a structured query. So I'm just going to make a file called structured uh, conversation or structured response.js. We are going to understand how to utilize structured response so that we can get the response in JSON format. For that, we are going to follow the same strategy wherein we are going to import or we are going to get the Zod. So that is equals to require Zod to create the validations, and then we need a create agent. So create agent to make the agent from LangChain. So I'm going to write it in this format. Once this has been imported, we are going to, let's say, create a contact info. So I'm just going to write contact info to chat.object. And here we are going to pass the data. So name, let's say it's set to string. Then let's say we want email. Email will also be a string. So we are going to define our schema, how the output should look like, the JSON format, z.string. And once it is done, we have defined a proper schema that should be utilized. Now we are going to create an agent. So const agent is equals to create agent, and then we are going to define the model. So the model is what the same model that we have been following up. So we'll directly get the model that we did in the previous classes, wherein we were trying to get the model in by OpenAI model in. So I will just call the model here, and then I also need, since we are getting the data from .env, let me just try to get the data from directly from the load .env, or we can just directly write require .env.config. Now, since we are able to get the model and we need to define the response format. So the response format here will be contact info, the same format. So we are telling the LLM that you have whatever the request comes out of it, it should be in a JSON format, and the JSON format should follow the structure where it will have a name, email, and a phone number. Let's get started. We'll just try to pass it in the result. So const results is equals to await. So for that, I'm going to create an async function. Let's say that function can be like we did in the previous classes wherein we created async function and then we were trying to get the response. So let's say async function generate structured response, and here you pass whatever the query that you have. But for now, let's keep it simple. We are not going to write anything. We are not going to take any arguments. So const result is equals to await agent dot invoke, and here you pass the complete conversation. So messages, it will be a list containing what the role user is just trying to ask. The complete conversation can be passed here. So you can replace whatever the messages that we are passing right now with the actual content that you can pass from the upstream, or what you can pass it from the front end. So let's say extract contact info from John @example.com, and let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's see this and let's try to see the response that it comes out of it. So it's going to be simple here. I'm going to write generate structured response dot then response, and finally console.log of response. And one thing which we need to do here is we need to return the result. Let's observe the response now. We'll try to see. So note conversation slash structure. Let's see the output now. Okay, I think my API key has been deactivated. Give me a second. Let me just add a new API key. So I've changed my API key. Now let's try to see the response again. Yeah. So we got a response. If you just see here, we got like messages that came as a human message. The question was extract contact info was this. As per this, AI just tried to reply back by just putting up those message. So the content that it was returning was this part, and we got the structured response that we were looking for. So this part helped us to like get the proper response. And if you just directly want to get a structured response, if you don't want to just follow up all the steps that has gone through this, you can just directly return the structured response. So this was it for understanding the structured response. You can create different kinds of JSON schema and you can use it in multiple applications. So in the next video, we are going to understand more into depth of it. Okay, see you in the next video.